what you mentioned about defense, I don't know how it's going to be unfair by football to Arsenal. For Arsenal to have this number of goals scored and have this number of shutouts and still don't win the league.
I still hate the referees for this. I really do.
But that's the perfect word. He's a nuisance.
I'm never scared. Never
scared. That's what I said about the whole Zinchenko situation. I feel like it's a statement by Arteta, to say, when fit, Kivior is going to be my starting left back because he gives me security.
Yeah. Transit TV, welcome back again to the studios. I have new entrants and surprise ones today to the studio. Messi is here with us, the big name, you know him, big Arsenal fan in Houston, Texas, and Ebenezer is here as well today. We're just going to talk about the game today. Arsenal played to consolidate their position on top of the league in EPL. We know City played today as well, just won 4-1 against Aston Villa. If you're an Arsenal fan, you are hoping that Aston Villa was going to do you a favor today, but of course they failed. Tomorrow we wait for Liverpool for their game to see if Arsenal are going to stay on top of the league or go back to second position as this running gets more exciting and interesting. And with me today, like I said earlier on, is Messi, the big name in Houston, Arsenal fan, and Ebenezer as well, journalist himself, to talk about this game today. Guys, I don't know. Let me start with you. Who among the players that came in today impressed you the most? I mean, we had Smith Rowe, we had Thomas Partey, and of course, Rhys Nelson, all coming today to start the game. I don't know which of them that impressed you the most.
It's an interesting question, especially when you have Rhys Nelson and Smith Rowe both starting, I would say, for the first time in the Prem this season, at least. And, Rhys Nelson starting for the first time in 4 years for Arsenal in the Prem. I would say the person that impressed me the most was Smith Rowe. I really liked his link-up play. He did get in the box a lot. He was the reason why the second goal was scored. He laid out that pass trying to find the forward in the box. But Partey, I mean, it's a party when Partey's there. And he definitely, showed why we should have him stay in the squad for the summer and not let go of him.
Yeah, I hear you. Amazing. For you, who impressed you the most?
I actually mirror his opinion as well, because Smith Rowe for me is a very misunderstood player. The way he moves, nothing too fancy, but the boy's intelligent, and he showed those movements again today. So I'm particularly impressed by him. Rhys Nelson making those runs. I know they gave it as an own goal, but I think he was also very instrumental today. And Thomas Partey, I think he needed those minutes for him to start building back that confidence, to get back in the team. So I think those three guys really, really impressed me.
Yeah. There's one person you guys did not mention. So let me ask you another interesting one. I know there's a fine line between this one. Zinchenko, the control he gave to our Arsenal game and the defensive ability of Kivior, which one do you think we need most? Because today you could see that Luton has been a very big and stubborn opponent to all the big teams in England this season. I know Liverpool won them narrowly, and if you remember the first leg, Arsenal narrowly won as well. So, but today with Zinchenko, it was a very controlled performance. I don't know if it was because of the injuries that Luton had, or it was the way we approached the game. So, will you prefer the control that Arsenal has, having Zinchenko on the team, and against the Kivior defensive abilities?
I honestly think Zinchenko playing this game is a statement by Arteta. as to where he wants the team to go.
Yeah.
Kiwior being in the team is stealing up defenses. His defense is like there's just nothing passes through.
Yeah.
And if he's giving Kiwior a rest at this point, then I think he's making a statement. For like Brighton and then for Bayern. I think he's making a statement. If I was Zinchenko, I would be a little concerned. Now, I feel like there are games that Zinchenko will come in and actually contribute something to. But as far as like that defensive stability that this team is enjoying, I honestly would say Kiwior's input is what we need right now on a more stable basis.
Yeah. For you, Abisa, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned Zinchenko because I really enjoyed his performance today, and particularly with squad rotation. I mean, last season that was a big reason why he fell short was giving too many minutes to key players and not having enough depth. Man City, they spread out their minutes a lot, and like student like master, Arteta learned from the finest, and I think it was good to see Zinchenko in that left back position today. I do think the two players, him and Kiwior, offer completely different profiles. You'll see Zinchenko kind of float up midfield in that inverted fullback position, and I think that was important for kind of controlling the midfield. And actually, speaking on Kiwior's defensive abilities, very solid. But I would say last week against Man City, I saw him slip up a couple times, and really allowed the wing play, especially, with Doku. I remember Doku cooked, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But I mean, aside from that, Kiwior definitely, he adds a different attribute defensively. I would definitely say he has that edge over Zinchenko. I mean, last year when we played Liverpool, I mean that heartbreaking mistake by Zinchenko getting nutmegged by Trent. So exactly. I think in going forward in the easier games, quote unquote, because like you said, Luton is very stubborn. I think we'll see a lot more rotation, especially going towards the end of the season. Yeah. Omaze had mentioned, we got Bayern Munich coming up, we got Brighton coming up. We need to make sure the legs are fresh, and there are whispers of Julian Timber maybe returning as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Let me ask you guys now a tricky one right there. If you remember, before this injury started, we used to have Tomiyasu in that position as well. So we have three players that can play that position. So if all three are fit, considering where Arsenal is right now, there's zero room for mistake. Who will you play? All three. No, forget about Timber for now. Before he gets really fit, it's going to take some weeks. I mean, right now, Tomiyasu is fit, Zinchenko is fit, and you have Kiwior. If all of them are fit at the same level, who will you play at the biggest of games?
I'll play Kiwior. I'll play Kiwior.
What about you, Beniza?
That's a tough decision because I want to sit here and say Kiwior as well, just for the discourse, because Zinchenko, he's a proven title winner with Man City. I would say, this is so tough. I would say Zinchenko, but we haven't seen enough of Timber yet. We haven't seen enough of him.
Just these three people.
Timber's not even there yet.
No.
If Timber's on the list, based on what we saw about Timber, if he's on the list, I put Timber number 1.
100%. And that's what I want to say. He's not healthy right now, obviously, but I've been hearing whispers of him maybe being able to make it back into the match day squad towards the end of the season or even for the Champions League. So if Julian Timber is fully fit, I think I'm taking him in that position.
Yeah, for me, let me shock you guys. I would take Tomiyasu. The reason is because Tomiyasu has played both left-footed wingers and right-footed wingers. He's two-footed. He knows how to defend. And right now, going forward, Arsenal is not finding it difficult scoring goals. I don't really need a left back that's going to do much going forward. I need somebody that's going to be solid. I mean, we have some Tomiyasu against Salah, shut him out. He's gone against all the trickery winger after I was playing. Whether you play right foot or left foot, he has a way. You have seen him shut out a song of Tottenham. So if they are fit, may I will go with Tomiyasu. And also, he also has the pace to join the attack. Kiwior, for me, as good as he has looked, you can still see that he's not very, very experienced at the highest level. Sometimes there's some, like you mentioned earlier.
But this is my thing. This is my thing, right? This is my thing.
Kiwior. Controversial.
Kiwior for me. And I never thought in a million years I'd be saying this at this stage of this.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing about having this debate, right? I never thought that I was saying, oh, look, Kiwior it should be a staple in that defense. Because that guy came into that defense and literally stabilized it. He stabilized it. Because most of our problems are coming from the left.
But you can say that, but you remember when Zinchenko was playing, we were inverting from the left. So there was obviously going to be a gap behind him. But
Zinchenko has those small lapses. Other than that, I love Zinchenko. Like, that's probably one of my favorite Arsenal players, right? One of my favorite current Arsenal players. I love him.
I'm sure one of my friends Ugumda is on this show. If he hears me say this, he's going to be like, Reggie, you. Because Zinchenko for me was almost like a god in that team. Because that guy last season, everything good about the team was going through him. But
Zinchenko is too good. Zinchenko is going forward. Zinchenko is he's just a genius.
Exactly.
But the thing is this: Zinchenko is not as mobile, defensively sound and mobile for him to make up for small lapses. And that's the thing about him. Brilliant as he is, he has those little lapses in decision making. And then he gets pinched
what that tells you is that he's not a natural defender. Because if you remember, after the game on Sunday, there was something that Saliba said. He said that they had to switch on 90%, 98 minutes against City. So that's the problem with Zinchenko cannot switch on.
He won't do that.
And that takes us to I want to ask a question about what's his name? Ramsdale and Raya. Remember last season as well, Ramsdale made a comment, was an interview that he used to find it difficult to concentrate on games.
Concentration.
So
that was a nail in the coffin. That was, seeing that interview, especially saying that on a podcast, it almost did the damage before.
I'm like, done. Bro, what the hell?
Exactly.
Like how?
As a manager, you watch that and you're like, yeah, I want that to be my starting.
He was playing with a bird.
Do you know? It's crazy. We say that now that this comes up now. Do you know? I was just thinking about it today while I was watching the game. I'm like, Raya is just going about his business, so composed, stacking up clean sheet after clean sheets. Nobody's counting.
Exactly.
But this guy is stacking up numbers and he's doing it so quietly, right? And I thought to myself, I said, City had one shot on target on Sunday.
Yeah.
They had one shot on target. I think I remember very vividly it was from the corner. Yeah. When Nathan Ake had turned in the ball with his head. And I thought to myself, I said, if that was Ramsdale, right, would I have been that confident? Because the way Raya made it look so easy. Like that save was just almost routine for him.
If you remember, I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago that people talk about that Raya prevents things before they happen. So it looks as if there's no shots on his goal. But the decisions that he makes while with the ball to his feet prevents us having those shots on target.
Having those things happen. So I'm like, I look at that thing. Like when he saved that point blank header from Ake, it was so quick. And I'm like, this dude. And he made it seem so seamless, right?
Yeah.
And I asked myself, I said, if it was Ramsdale, would we be comfortable in that position? Because Ramsdale said it with his own mouth. He said sometimes
it's hard to concentrate.
It's hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
Right? So I know even a corner kick is a crucial one. But that just one moment, that one lapse in concentration could have just cost us that one single shot on target.
Yeah, if I were to advise Rams, though, I would tend to stay in Arsenal one more season, because what Raya is doing in Arsenal is actually what he needs to become a world-class keeper. He should stay with this guy for another one season before he can leave, so he can grab it, because that's the difference between the superstar, the big players, and the ones that just do good. Because I know that there's those little stuff that people don't really count that makes your game, become, go to the next level. So I think Ramsdale needs to, So let me ask you again. So who impressed you most in this game today? Who will be the man of the match?
I mean, we can talk multiple players. Again, Saliba and Gabriel, just the dynamic duo, best defensive pair in the league. I mean, it's evident, the numbers. Honestly, for me, man, Odegaard put in another shift. I mean, 90 minutes. This man is always constantly pressing, constantly. He does not have his gas ever run out. And I mean, he got the initial goal. He was, I mean, an instrumental piece per usual. There's a reason why he's a captain only 3 seasons in. To me, Odegaard, without Saka, without Martinelli, without Jesus, he's still, in my opinion, I think he's the focal point of that team. Without Odegaard, without Odegaard, I feel like Arsenal would not be challenging.
110%.
Yep. What about you, Messi? Odegaard too?
110%.
Yeah, me too.
I think we're gonna get along just fine.
My brother, yes, sir.
I like you both the footballing brain, bro. Just
the way you think, my man. Like,
because I don't know if this happens to you guys. When Odegaard is on the ball, I always have this fear. Please let nothing happen to this guy. He's one player. I don't know if we'll have anybody to step in to come.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Do you know who Odegaard reminds me of?
Ozil.
Ozil with a touch of Iniesta.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
Ozil with a touch of Iniesta. You know how, I don't know if you guys remember this I think it was FIFA. It was FIFA where they'd say Iniesta goes past his man like he wasn't there.
Exactly.
Remember that? Yeah. Like, Iniesta goes past his man like he wasn't there. Odegaard, for me, is one of those players where I see him on the ball. He's so twinkle-toed. I'm just like, this dude. He'll find a way out.
Definitely.
He'll find it. If he has a period his way, it like just do a spin. So I don't know how he does it, but he just goes past people. And I agree with you 110%. The way that boy plays ball is the heart of Arsenal because he runs his lungs off.
I remember when Kai Havertz joined, I used to tell people, Odegaard was tutoring him on how to press. Kai Havertz used to start off front, but Odegaard used to go press ahead of him. But now I see Kai Havertz doing the press. So Odegaard showed him, hey bro, don't worry, I'll press for you. This is how we press here.
Speaking of Havertz, I want to be one of the first people to say, I told y'all so. Because even though it wasn't on this platform, Eddie, one of my great, I think you met Eddie before. Yeah. Eddie had no patience for Kai Havertz. I think it was you caught it too, right? And I'm like, yo, just chill, like relax.
Yeah, for me, Kai Havertz, I wasn't sure what he was being signed for, but I told people that Arteta and Edu has shown me enough to trust them. So I was going to watch and see. I couldn't see what he was signed for, but I was ready to wait and see what Arteta was going to do because Arteta was adamant. It wasn't just like the opportunity came in, he grabbed the guy. He was adamant and he
particular about him.
So I said, and Ugum said that if we're going to get the Kai Havertz or Leverkusen, then we have a player in our hands. So it depends on which one we're going to get, and so we have to wait and see. Till now, some people, I was going to ask you that question already. You already answered it. does that end the noise about Kai? For me, that noise should be short. Let's move on. The guy has done all he needs to do.
I mean, I'm gonna be one of those people to admit that I was wrong. It's just piggybacking off of, you see the price tag, right? You see the lacklusterness at Chelsea, and it's hard not to think that. Again, I trust Arteta, I trust Edu. I mean, they've proven us time and time again, but there was that doubt. I can't lie, and now Kai Havertz has become, I'd say, a pivotal player for Arsenal. I mean, Odegaard wouldn't have scored without him today. He laid out that assist, another goal contribution. And I think he just adds a bit of dynamicism to our midfield, to our front line. I mean, the fact that, Nagelsmann experimented with him, put him at left back. I mean, let's be real. This dude, more than we probably are aware, has that football IQ to pretty much play anywhere.
This is my guy. I'm sorry. Like that. This dude you are killing it. Exactly. You just bring those words out.
Hey, I'm just glad I could be here to talk, man. This is fun.
It's true. Football IQ. Like if you see it, it's just okay. Like at first when he started playing for us, one thing I saw that most people were like, one thing I saw was that our hold up play became better.
Exactly.
Now there was a target for us to put the ball up to. And then he looks, and that's the thing, he's so languid.
As skinny as he looks, he's strong in those duels.
So languid, but he's so strong. Because he's always going to press you. He's always going to be a nuisance. But
that's the perfect word. He's a nuisance.
I'm never scared.
He's always going to be a nuisance. And so he's pressing, and it's like even the so-called big teams don't faze him.
That's what I'm saying. He's not scared of anybody. He doesn't care if you're Van Dijk, whoever you are. He doesn't care. But
he doesn't care. He knows that it's the same. It's a demeanor, right? Exactly. I saw that when we first started this season, and I'm just like, I don't know. There's something about this guy that is cold. He's always there.
Exactly.
Right? Even if he was missing those chances then. But you could see he was always at the tail end of something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's something I was going to add to that thing you're just saying now. Kai Havertz, he makes these runs that in the eye, it doesn't look like it's a problem. But those runs distract the defense. Because he doesn't run to the post. He always runs slightly away from the post. If you go with him, you open up space for other people. Sometimes if you don't go with him and he gets the ball, 100%. He's dangerous.
It's no coincidence, though. Think about it. It's no coincidence that he's in a team that is freely scoring these many goals. It's not a coincidence, right? He's finding
exactly because when they do this play, we don't score that many goals.
Yeah, it's like he's literally finding his own purple patch, and he's giving license to other people to actually contribute. Because if you think about it, we don't just have one person scoring all these goals. We have goals coming from a lot of places.
Everybody.
And not because of these little pockets. Like they say, like you heard defenders complain about it, saying they don't like his movement in the box.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, him against Brentford, that cracked me up, man.
They don't like his movement in the box.
It's dangerous. If you go with him, you open up your defense. So it's a problem. It's a dilemma. You don't really know what to do with Kai Havertz. Should I just ignore him, make his run because he's running outside the post? No. If you do, he gets the pass, he scores. If you go with him, then he open up the defense. And I want to ask you guys, let me ask you guys this controversial one. I know if you watch EPL for a very long time, there are little omens that tell you sometimes in a game, this is going to end a draw. I've seen this thing many times in EPL. When it comes to winning the title as well, there are little stuff that you see. You say it looks like it's going this way this season. For Arsenal, if you, as an Arsenal fan, do you feel Arsenal is going to win this season? And if so, forget about the result of the position on the table. Are there things that you're seeing that are coming together? I might probably give you some options from players coming back from injury at this time of the season. Usually, it's the other way around. Players are getting injured and the team is getting thinner. To referees not really giving us now games, but at least being 95% fair in their calls, to Arsenal on the pitch looking like teams that are not, sometimes like today, it wasn't like a ferocious play against Luton. It was a controlled performance, get the 3 points and get out of the place, and stuff like that. So is there anything you're looking at outside the play, outside the play itself that makes you feel that it looks like this is the season for Arsenal?
For starters, I mean, the fact that this is the second season in a row we're challenging for the title. A lot of people said last season was a fluke, right? Yeah. And you can't blame them because Arsenal have been very inconsistent. But when you think about the trajectory ever since Arteta took reign, we haven't finished lower than we have the previous season. It's always been higher. Last season, second place. I mean, looks like we're either touted to finish in the top 3, and I'd be disappointed if we don't win the title, of course. But seeing just how close this race is, it wouldn't be disheartening as much as it was last year if Arsenal were to not finish first place. But I will say, like you had mentioned, the fact that we have players returning from injury now, and those players haven't necessarily affected our performance or our form. We've been consistent without them. I mean, we did have that purple patch of bad form before the winter break, losing to West Ham and Aston Villa. And of course, I'm going to look back on those games and be like, what if we won? Exactly. That could have been the difference. You always look back at those games like, how did we beat West Ham 6-0 away from home and then lose 2-0 at home, But for me, the difference maker this year is that the players who stormed the Premier League last year, I mean, Saliba, for example, came out of nowhere. His first game for Arsenal, he hasn't stopped starting since, right? For me, the difference maker is that these players have challenged before. They have that experience. Exactly. They know how to secure it. They piggybacked off of last season. They're like, okay, Arteta definitely knows where he has to work, and he already did. He put that effort into strengthening our bench and rotation. So for me, I think there's nothing that can stop us at this point. Today's results, I will say I was a bit disappointed. Just because we usually do go for the kill, And I feel like piggybacking off of last game, where we did play it safe. I mean, it was strategic. It was a chess match. It was definitely the highest level. But I was a bit disappointed that we didn't go for the throat with Luton. They are a troublesome team, but I still believe that we definitely could have just increased the goal difference a bit more. And I'm not satisfied with you. That's the point. We're not satisfied.
I agree with you on this one. What's making you feel, apart from the fact that we are in there, we're in the mix of the title race, we are winning games, but there are things you're seeing that's making you say, hey, it looks like this is going to be the season. But to respond to what you're saying, for me, I feel that the way Arsenal played today was also strategic in the sense that they gave a lot on Sunday. Now today, and they have a game on Sunday against Brighton. Then Tuesday or Wednesday next week, Bayern. So they got to conserve energy and build back.
When you need the most.
You can see Rice going to rest today. So I probably was planned to play this way. Just get the 3 points. We have a very strong goal difference, so you don't have to worry about that.
I think honestly, that's what I said about the whole Zinchenko situation. I feel like it's a statement by Arteta. To say, when fit, Kivior is going to be my starting left back because he gives me security. And thank God that we have games like these that we're able to actually we have games like this and we have a squad to actually put to test. To actually say, okay, do this. And, disappointed as I was about the result, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I am grateful.
Bro, this is a clean sheet. This was a clean sheet.
I don't know
what you guys are talking about.
I don't want to sound like that.
Or what?
I don't want to sound like that ungrateful fan. But it was not what I quite expected because again we've been spoiled with high level, high levels of the game. So that being said, I can see what Arteta is doing. I can see that he's giving his best legs a good rest, not making them do too much.
Yeah.
In anticipation of what we're going to do. Because Brighton away is going to be a key game. The Liverpool game, the Bayern Munich game is going to be key as well.
Yeah.
And going forward, we get a result which I'm very, very positive we're going to do against Bayern. I want to put my neck out there to say this. I think we're going to do Bayern really, really dirty this time.
Yeah.
And then going forward, find a way to just keep that defense tight. Keep that core. Because attacks win you games, defenses win you titles. Right? So I feel like he's literally making a statement with especially his defensive changes today. Especially that. Right? He's saying if he's going to keep your rest, I think Kiwior is going to be key going up against Brighton and Bayern Munich.
And Bayern Munich, yeah. I agree with you guys. I think for me, if there's anything, a couple of them, the fact that this time of the season, for over a decade, I've never seen Arsenal get stronger at this time.
Yeah.
I've never, even on that Wenger. Like this time, they used to say our excuse has come again, injury.
No, remember it's November, February. They say November. If we do well in November, we're not going to escape February.
So, but now, like you mentioned, these are big players. Thomas Partey. Arsenal has been doing well without Thomas Partey it's almost for 4 months. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu. These 4 players have not been playing for the past 3 months, and Arsenal is doing that well. For the fact they're coming back, and Arsenal fans are not even complaining about that. Their absence. It gives me something to. And then what you mentioned about defense, I don't know how it's going to be unfair by football to Arsenal, for Arsenal to have this number of goals scored and have this number of shutouts and still don't win the league.
I still hate the referees for this. I really do. I really, really, truly do. And VAR, all of that nonsense gets on my last nerves when I think about the things that they've done this season. And I know we've also had some controversial calls go our way.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, we've had some of the most damaging, like directly game-changing, damaging.
Exactly. That Newcastle was killing.
It was just like, what the hell are you doing?
It felt like I was in the stadium. I was asking myself, if you're feeling this mad, then what do you think about people who are in the stadium? It was crazy.
Or even the West Ham game.
Yeah.
Even the West Ham game, I'm just like, what are you like? You just see those kind of things, and you're just like, how?
But for me, sorry.
No, go ahead.
For me, as much as I want to say VAR, like the refs, they suck. They're evenly as, am I allowed to curse? As S-word as all the other teams. I mean, the results can either go one way or another. For me, at this point, you as a challenger, aka Arsenal, should not have to rely on VAR to
just do the job.
Yeah, but see, you can say that Newcastle game was as tight as it could get. Just get your draw and walk away. Arsenal did what they needed to do in that game. Newcastle were just strong. So just allow the game play out like against City. I
don't even think it was Newcastle was strong. I honestly feel like there's an agenda. I feel like there's an agenda. Maybe now they're trying to clean up that agenda, but I really honestly think it was an agenda against Arsenal. Because how do you let some of those tackles go? How? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. It was crazy.
How do you let some of those tackles go? Like it blows my mind. The last time I saw those kind of things happen was against Manchester United when they beat us at for like what you call it, broke the 49.
Exactly.
The record.
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw that kind of blatant.
And the time when you used to have Stoke and both in the Premier League.
Jesus Christ! Can you even make it more obvious?
Okay,
it's like, what are you doing? It was
the ref that game was a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, it was like you're letting so many things go.
But I think the referees, like you mentioned, they're beginning to clean up a little bit. Maybe Arteta's body language, because he doesn't really mind them anymore. He has faced his business and doesn't even talk about the referees anymore. I think that has helped him also to get some of their favor. So let's let me ask you guys this question. We have City today, they score 4 goals. They've not been doing that. But I know that all through the season, they've been finding it difficult to keep clean sheets. Again today, considering they go against Aston Villa. And then you have Liverpool, who are also strong going forward, conceding goals as well, and almost scraping through their 3 points. Who do you think is the most going to be the most rival for Arsenal, or that will stop Arsenal from winning this league?
Man. To be honest, it seems like Liverpool have plot armor ever since Jurgen Klopp announced his departure. It's like they can't lose. They just can't lose no matter what. I mean, you saw it against Burnley. There are other examples. I'm drawing a blank, but just the Nottingham Forest as well. I mean, seriously, it's been last minute goal after last minute goal to clinch against Brighton, literally a couple of days ago. But I feel like it's too close with every result. So I want to say Man City are going to be the biggest challengers, because they, besides Wolves, I mean, this season always, and Tottenham always being their bane for some reason. I really think City are going to be the biggest challengers, because look at the track record. I mean, look at last year. We were leading by 8 points at some point for City to come back. Liverpool, for me, I think they're too weak defensively at the back. I mean, Van Dijk is stellar, right? But now you're having inexperience with Connor Bradley and Kwanzaa playing in the back line. Great players, but I think in the end, Man City are going to be the biggest challenge. I mean, there's only like 9 games left. Both teams are going to challenge. It's going to be
8 now. So amazing.
Yeah. I'll put my neck out.
Are you more weary about?
Liverpool.
I put my neck out to say Liverpool. This year.
Yeah.
Why? I feel like unlike other years, right? Manchester City had direct say on who was going to win the league, because they hadn't, at this point, they hadn't played all their challengers, right? And we still hadn't played them. So once we got to a point where, hey, we're still shaky, and we came into that game and they beat us, they decided that title that day.
Exactly.
Right? Fast forward to this year. They don't have that luxury. Manchester City don't have that luxury. Liverpool simply doesn't have to lose.
Exactly.
They have to just keep winning, finding ways to win their games, which I honestly think, if you ask me about any team right now, woke me up in the middle of the night, says City or Liverpool, who do you think is most likely to win a game? I'd say Liverpool. Because I don't know how they do it, but they find ways to do it consistently. And it's not a coincidence. City has no real estate on who's going to win anymore. They had their chances on Sunday, right? They had the chance on Sunday to put a stamp and say, no, Arsenal, you're not going to F around with us. Are we allowed to cuss? Yeah, like,
I had to ask.
Yeah, so like, they were like, no, Arsenal, you're not going to fuck around with us. So they had the chance on Sunday to put their foot down, and they didn't, right?
Yeah.
So I honestly think that now they can't complain about who's winning, because now they have to rely on other people
to make, exactly, but to go their way. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Messi, on this one. I believe it's Liverpool, and if anybody has watched this channel all season, they'll be surprised I'm saying this, because I was always saying that Liverpool cannot sustain the charge because of, like what you mentioned, in the heart of their midfield, their defensive midfield and defensive position, they're not that strong. But I don't know how they're going to do it all season, and they're still in it. Maybe that might also be a sign that Arsenal could win it, because I don't see Liverpool being in the Europa Cup and pursuing this EPL, having that strength in that very difficult position of the team to sustain the charge. So I feel Liverpool is the most, because City, like Omezi mentioned, I've said it, they don't keep clean sheets. And right now, you don't have the luxury of KDB at his highest level and Eden Haaland. Somehow, Haaland is misfiring. today, Phil Foden had to bail them out, and Phil Foden that I know is not consistent in scoring goals. Yeah, he can have good games, but doesn't really score goals that much. This season he has scored a few of them, I know, but so for me, Liverpool should be the biggest threat for us.
The thing now is this, right? The thing is this: any of those three people challenging for the league right now, any one of those people should be considered favorites to win the game now from here on to the end.
Exactly.
Of the
yeah. But there's something. Okay, go ahead. Finish.
So I mean, because if Manchester City think they're going to walk into any game, if they're walking into any game now as favorites, they should expect that Arsenal will be walking into any game now as favorites.
Exactly.
And Liverpool walking into any game right now as favorites. And that's the thing. It's not like last year where people are like, oh, it's not like Arsenal still has to play these people and they're scared. There's really nobody on the roster right now that you look at and you be like, on the opponent's list, and you look at it and you be like, okay, they've done this against the best team in the world.
Yeah.
So their confidence level.
Yeah, and to that point, if anybody has, is even City. City always has issues with Tottenham. They don't win against Tottenham. They're still gonna. In fact, there's a very interesting postulation on this chart. Tottenham is fifth. Aston Villa is fourth. Both of them are going to play all three challengers.
Mm-hmm. Kingmakers.
Both of them are going to play Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City. Both.
If there's anybody, man, if we lose the title to Tottenham, I would literally cry. I'm not gonna lie. That's not gonna happen. But obviously they're the teams that are most likely to kind of have a say. I mean, we're not playing Aston Villa away, so I think we have that in the bag. If I'm being honest, Aston Villa have a pretty bad away record. But for Liverpool, I feel like, I mean, you never know when it's Man United. They could either turn up and play some great football or
Arsenal will wrap up the Man United. My worry is Tottenham away.
Oh, I meant Liverpool and Man United.
Okay. No, that one's always going to be a big game because both of them
for sure,
have a history, so you can go either way.
Yeah, and
okay, guys, it's been a very, very interesting time with you guys, man. It's been lively, exciting. I hope you have you guys, more on this channel. Yeah, Avia, don't forget, let's know we've had some very controversial and tight opinions on this program today, this episode today. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Omezi or Ebenezer? Guys, we have thrown out some very, very tight thoughts on the issues on voting on Arsenal to charge this season. So let's know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and like this content. And we look forward to see Liverpool tomorrow, see what they do on theirs. And hopefully for Arsenal, they don't get a result tomorrow. And Arsenal's messed up.
I'm not going to hold my breath up for that one.
From there to win. Guys, thank you for coming on the show. Good to see you, Messi. Thank you, brother, man. Thank you,
bro. Ebenezer, we'll see you. Take care, my man.
Hey, we're friends for life now, man.
Yeah, you already know, man. You already know.